Hey everyone, nice seeing you again. Welcome to another episode of Revolution 2020. Now, the big question that I've been hearing a lot is, what do the BLM protesters want? The answer is simple. We want change. Now, seeing my viewership drop and the general lack of momentum that we're seeing right now in the movement in general has been disturbing and is showing me that change is definitely necessary. And it's actually inspired me to make some changes here as well. So from here on out, the videos are going to be a little more interesting because it's time for me to don the Guy Faux mask.
This is the face that you'll see when I'm at the marches and protests if you're in the Portland area, so it's only fitting that I wear it for these videos as well. It represents resistance, which is one of the central themes of the movement, and one of the many peaceful, non-violent ways to send a message that we are fed up and we want change. Some of the most successful catalysts for lasting change have come from peaceful movements, from Gandhi to Martin Luther King. We have learned that peaceful resistance is effective. It is at least as powerful as violence, but it doesn't carry the same consequences. But most people don't seem to think that there are ways to be loud without being violent or angry. We want results and lasting change, not civil war. And the only way that we're going to have a chance of getting there is through non-violent but diligent action. Protests are great. They're an excellent way to call attention to things that need change. But they do not, on their own, create change. So how do we create change? Well, first of all, what change do we want to create? We need a clear direction. What I'm hearing from the black community and most allied communities as a whole is a plea for not only justice served to the officers around the country who have needlessly murdered the citizens disproportionately black of this country without due process, but an entire restructuring of the law enforcement system as we know it. Peace officers instead of police officers. No, violent and dangerous crimes will not increase. We just have to change the way we enforce the laws. Violent crimes, sexual crimes, etc. would pretty much be handled the same way as we do now, except we would focus more on rehabilitation, if possible. We need to end the war on drugs and sex work. Focus on treatments for the addicts. And for sex workers, we need to focus on education and safety, as well as empowerment and self-esteem to encourage more productive choices and endeavors. We should be putting money into providing shelters for the homeless, instead of policing them and pestering them on the streets because many of them are forced to live on the streets. Defunding the police system isn't about taking away jobs. It's about changing them in a way that reaches the community in a positive light. It's about making their jobs more positive and productive rather than destructive. Love and helpfulness instead of cynicism and intimidation. We need to see legislative changes as well, like how California passed the Karen Act. We need things like that everywhere. Hold the racists accountable. There are many changes we need to see, but it starts with making drastic and lasting changes to our law enforcement, shifting focus away from minorities and onto actually making our community a better and safer place. But how do we make these changes in a non-violent way? Well, I came across this website which has a list of 198 methods of non-violent activism. There's a link in this video's description. A few of them are being practiced, but many of them not, and I think there are a few we could utilize. For example, we could get mass petitions asking for these changes going around. Or we could flood our local governmental office with letters. We could make and pass out pamphlets to garner support for the movement. But there are more creative ways as well, like displaying wearing signals, singing, parades, paintings, and so on. But one of the things that I saw on here that really got my attention was delivering symbolic objects. And that got me thinking. The local governmental leaders lack the, well, let's just say it, balls to stand up to federal and even local authorities in order to protect their own people. So maybe we all, every last one of us, donate some spare balls to these local government officials. And what better way to deliver them than to right on the steps of City Hall? Everyone, find some old balls you aren't using and leave them down at the steps of City Hall, because the politicians inside those buildings certainly need them. My fellow Portland friends, aren't you tired of that wuss Ted Wheeler offering nothing to the citizens of Portland, peacefully asking for change? Then go to your closets, go to your garages, to your backyards, grab all those old balls, all the balls you can spare, and put them on the steps of City Hall. Or hell, the mayor's house even, if he's too chicken to show his face downtown. Send this message around to all cities and all towns. Share this with everyone. Get video of yourself donating your balls and post it on social media with the hashtag #BallsForCityHall. Let's make hashtag #BallsForCityHall go viral. Let's show them that we mean business. We need to be loud. We need to be consistent. We cannot give up. We have to be relentless, but it has to be peaceful. And when the police and National Guard come in to beat back our resistance, don't give in. Don't act in anger or violence. Try to reason with them. Because the truth is, if we're going to be successful, we need a lot of them to be on our side. Tell them why you're occupying, why you're protesting. Tell them you love them, and that you want their jobs to be less dangerous and more positively productive, and to reach more people in our communities. Tell them that you care about them and their families, and that you want the same from them for you and yours. Hell, hug them if you can. Hey, I'm sure ladies will have probably an easier time with that. But we need to get them on our side, because they are us, and we're them. They're just confused. They want to serve and protect, but are being told to harass and intimidate. Some of them are assholes and love doing that, sure, and they likely won't turn sides. But many of them are still human and still have a heart. Even the National Guard. Be loud, but be compassionate. Be caring. They may not all join us, but some might. And turning around some of them will be better than turning around none of them. But yes, balls. Get them out to your City Hall and send a message. Remember to take a video and post it on social media with the hashtag #BallsForCityHall. Do you have the balls? You better, because this movement is going to take all the balls we've got. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Remember, get those videos up. Hashtag #BallsForCityHall. And I'll see you all again next week. Until then, stay vigilant, stay unified. Peace. Love you all.